What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing a discussion type of video explaining why I believe friendly battles are the #1 most effective way of improving inside of Clash Royale. So as you guys know, there's lots of different game modes, lots of different ways you can play this game, but I put together 4 main reasons of why I think friendlies are better than the other options if your main goal is improving and getting better at this game. The main reason why I made this video is because I haven't really seen a video like this before, and I also see people say that ladder's the best way to get better or grand challenges, and they forget about the friendly battle option, which seems so simple, so basic. It's been in the game for such a long time, and yet I feel like people don't take advantage of it. So let's get right into it. So the #1 reason why I think friendly battles are a great way to learn matchups and get better is because all cards are the same level. Now, the reason I wanted to include this first is because I bet a lot of you guys are kind of under-leveled playing ladder, and you're always losing to maxed out cards and stuff like that, so you don't know whether a matchup is actually bad, or you're just losing because the opponent has higher card levels. But what playing friendly battles do is it allows you to understand, okay, is this actually a bad matchup? Are they beating me because of the card levels? Or any of that? Because if you look at the friendly battle thing, when you go to it, it tells you all cards are level 11, all towers are level 11. So it's an even playing field. So if you lose, there's no excuse essentially of the card level thing. You can't be like, oh, they had higher level cards or whatnot. You either got outplayed or it was just a bad matchup. So it helps you understand the matchup and the game, I think, a little bit better when you don't have that excuse in the back of your mind, like, they didn't outplay me, you know, they just had more money, it's unfair, or whatnot. Like, that just is simply not in the equation anymore when you are playing the friendly battles instead of ladder. I will say this is one of the only ones that also qualifies global tournaments and also grand challenges and classic challenges, because those of course are all level 11 cards as well. But this next point I'm going to get into, this solely only goes with friendly battles. Friendly battles are pretty much one of the only game modes in the game, excluding party mode, right? But party mode is more for fun. You don't really play party mode to get better. It's more, you know, just for fun playing with your friends, right? Like 2v2 or the 7 times elixir mode, those crazy game modes. But friendly battles are the only one where it's if you do a normal friendly battle, right, 1v1, you can improve, right, and learn things, and there's no pressure. There's nothing to lose. Whereas when you compare it to ladder, right, you can go on tilts. You can lose trophies, and I see this all the time. Players get in a really bad mindset, and when you get in a bad mindset, you're not learning anything. You know, you're frustrated. In fact, you might even just start playing worse, get a negative mindset as you're just losing more and more trophies. Same thing when you're playing a grand challenge or a classic challenge, right? Or even a global tournament. So this is why friendlies are the only one where you can kind of get better without there being that pressure element, because when you have that goal in mind, when you're playing ladder, right, where your goal is, okay, I want to climb up 100 trophies today, or I want to reach Ultimate Champion, I want to get into Arena 10, right? Whatever the case is, you have that goal in mind, and if you're having a hard time, you know, reaching it and the pressure's on and it's just getting intense, it can sometimes be hard to think and learn. But friendly battles basically remove that aspect away, that pressure element, so you can fully focus on learning interactions. And with grand challenges, likewise, right, when you get close to completing the challenge, or even when you just started it, right, if it's your first time playing grand challenge, you're trying to get as many wins as possible, you're trying to do your very best, there's that pressure where you're like really focused on the game, and when you're super focused, it's hard to learn new things. Think of it like this, right? When you're taking a test at school, you sometimes have test anxiety, right? You can't think or focus very well, whereas when you're just learning the material, say like if it's math or whatever it is, right, you're learning it in class, you don't have that anxiety because you're just learning it. So you can kind of think or compare friendly battles to that, because there's no pressure, right? You're just learning, it's nice and chill, And in that sense, I think it can be better for a lot of players. So I would recommend giving it a try for that. If you're one of those players who feel like you can't learn things because it's just so frustrating, you're getting tilted, and it's so intense. All right, so now we get into our third point here. I only have 4 in total, so this is the third one. I kind of wanted to make them, pretty decent topics so I can talk, a little while about each one. Okay, so this third one is also really important. You can practice specific matchups. And this, you guys might be able to relate a lot to this. So when you play ladder, you're getting absolutely crazy decks sometimes, especially if you're lower on ladder. You're getting just wild decks that make absolutely no sense. But you might be getting some similar matchups, right? There's popular decks inside of this game, like 2.6, Log Bait, and then of course, like those are decks that have been around forever and just seemingly never die. Or Expo, whatever, right? Whatever the case is. But then you also have meta decks where now we're seeing champions are so prevalent inside of the meta, or just, archetypes that are really good right now. For example, some of the best win conditions at this point in time are Electro Giant with the Golden Knight. You also got Mortar, which is very good right now, RG, so just to name a few. And what you can actually do inside of friendly battles is you can practice these specific matchups over and over, right? So you can play with a friend or someone you know in your clan, just hit them up, be like, hey, can I practice this specific matchup because I want to learn how I play it, because I've ran into this deck a few times and I'm, struggling against it, or maybe I'm only winning half the time, whereas I feel like I should be winning more. Or what you can do at the very least is when you test a specific matchup, you can actually evaluate whether it's just a hard counter and maybe you are expected to lose it, but there's a good chance you could be doing a lot better. So that's why practicing specific matchups can be very effective, because, again, kind of going back to the last point, when there's no pressure, you're going to be able to learn specific matchups and interactions much easier. So then when you are in those situations where there's pressure, it's all muscle memory, right? It's in your mind, and you know what to do when a situation, arises in the midst of, like, an actual important game. You're just it's all gonna be memorized. You don't even have to think twice about it too much, because you got it down, how you want to play the matchup, what you're cycling, and all that good stuff. All right, so this is going to be the fourth and final point, and this is basically just as a way of proving that I'm not the only person who thinks that friendly battles are a great way of improving and practicing in the game. So if you guys didn't know, like what CRL is, it's basically the competitive thing inside of this game. There used to be teams, right? There used to be CRL teams with pro players on them, and now the format is solo. But basically where I'm going with this is majority of competitive players in the game like including friendly battles in their practice routine. What a lot of pros will do is they'll play against other pros for an hour, right? Just grinding out friendly battles, switching decks, or they might do certain things like, specific matchups, as I already said. So maybe if they play a matchup and it was like a close game, maybe they'll repeat the same matchup to try to play things a little differently, kind of see if there's a different outcome. And yeah, basically where I'm going with this is the reason why especially I think pros like to play friendly battles is because you kind of have the option of playing against someone who is good, right? When you play friendly battles, you get to choose who you play with, whereas ladder, it's random, right? And the reason why this can be effective is because, I've said this before, one of the best ways to get better at this game is by playing against people who are better than you. And when you're doing friendly battles, you have the option, if you look hard enough, I'm sure you guys can find someone who's better than you are to play against. And I believe that that's the best way to get better at this game, is by playing against an opponent that's better than you. And on ladder, that's not really the case. Typically, the people you play against on ladder are the same skill level as you, so you're not going to be improving at a faster rate. So that's why, in this last point, how I'm talking about how pros like to, play friendly battles, they're often seeking out other pros to play against. Now, obviously, if someone's the very best player in the game, like the top 3 players, they sometimes have to play against people worse than them, but the point still remains the same. The pros they're practicing with are going to be better than the people they're playing against on ladder. They're going to be more versatile, they're just going to be way better with the specific decks they play, and that basically is, those were the main points I have for you guys. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I have no idea how you guys are going to consider this video, but if you guys like this kind of video where I just kind of go in depth talking about a specific thing inside of the game, why I think it's very good for improving, I can do this kind of video again. I mean, maybe, I don't know, there's a different area in the game I could do. I don't know what I could do it on. Even though I think friendlies are by far the best way to improve, I could also talk about why I think it's good to play other things inside of the game too, like maybe, I don't know, like global tournaments, challenges, those sorts of things. Or I could do a whole video dedicated to the importance of, well, I think I've already done that, of like watching people to improve. But yeah, I just wanted this video to solely be focused on friendly battles. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys agree with this video? What do you guys think about friendly battles? Do you guys at all play them? Do you guys notice a difference in your gameplay? Have they been helping you improve? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like the video if you guys did end up enjoying it. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. And thanks again. Until next time, guys.